Teresa Collins Studio just came out with some brand new card sets that include A2 size cards and 5x7 cards in really beautiful prints and some bold sayings. I decided to personalize them a little bit, and I'm going to show you how you can too. The card sets come in these really beautiful boxes that include dividers for you to keep your cards organized. I decided to use this card and to modify the front, the inside, and also to create a matching envelope. I started by downloading the bold alphabet font from the Teresa Collins Studio website. Their cut files there are really versatile and easy to use. I have a scan and cut, so I imported this file into the Canvas workspace and then decided what word I wanted to cut. And in this case, I went with thanks. I like to cut 2 to 3 layers for each one of my titles and then stack them to give each letter some dimension. You don't have to do this. You can keep the card a 1-layer card, but if you're like me and you like to add a little bit of depth and dimension, this is a really easy way to do it. All you have to do is put a little bit of glue between each of the layers of letters and stack them up. Here's a quick and easy tip for lining up your letters so that your spacing is perfect. I use the negative space left over after cutting out my letters. I'm just going to trim it out so it stays as one piece, and I'm going to use this as a template on the front of my cards to line up my letters. While I'm here with this black piece of scrap paper, I'm going to trim out some very thin strips using my Tim Holtz guillotine trimmer. This trimmer is excellent for cutting really thin, even strips of paper. So I'm going to cut several while I'm here. This is normal paper that I would have thrown away, but it allows me to incorporate the same exact paper in the design later on. So now that I have my elements for the card ready to go, all I really need to do is to add a couple of washi tapes to pull the whole look together. So I pulled these two from the favorites collection. I felt like it really matched the pre-printed card from the card box, and I'm going to put it on the inside and outside of the card as well as the envelope to create a really cohesive look between the two. So here I'm just layering in a couple of strips of the washi tape, starting with the wide floral, and then I'm going to layer in the gold washi tape and finish with a really thin bead of glue and one of those strips of black paper. So I'm not stacking the tape on top of each other, but I'm layering them kind of from the bottom up so that it creates kind of a stripe along the bottom. I decided to carry the thank you theme through to the inside of the card as well. So I picked this thank you stamp from the Tag It stamp set and used some VersaFine Onyx Black ink to add this little stamp to the inside of my card. It's small enough that it still allows you plenty of space to write your message to the recipient, but it helps give the inside of that card a little bit more personality. So to carry on the theme that I started on the inside of the card, I'm repeating the same washi tape on the outside lower edge as well. And then I'll add a very fine bead of glue along the upper edge of that gold washi tape, and then layer in one of those strips of black paper. So we're going to use a piece of Post-it tape or low-tack painter's tape to attach that letter template to the front of the card. So if you remember, this is the negative space that we used when we cut out the letters on the Scan and Cut. So I'm going to use it as a guide to glue each one of these letters in. So a little bit of glue on the back of each one, and then I pop it into the hole where it came from. And then very carefully, I'm going to peel off that template. Now, I will tell you that the more layers you put on each one of your letters, the more difficult it's going to be to pull that template off. So it's a good idea to let the glue just set for maybe a minute or so before you start trying to pull away the template. But make sure that you don't get any glue oozing out from underneath those letters, because you don't want the glue to attach itself to the template, or it will glue itself to the front of the card. So just take some time and care here as you glue this in. Be patient, but I really like the end result because my letters were perfectly spaced and horizontally aligned. Next, we're going to add that same washi tape to the front edge of the envelope. Here, I'm doing the exact same thing I did on the inside of the card, where I'm starting with the floral washi tape. Then I'm going to put a line of the gold washi tape, and then finish with a very, very fine bead of glue and one of those strips of black paper, just to create a coordinated look again between the card and the envelope. Here's a final look at the card we did today in the A2 size, as well as the matching 5x7 card. I really like these new cards by Teresa Collins. The quality is great, and I love that I can add my own personality if I want to change them up a little bit. I hope you're inspired by this design and that you can make some cards all your own.